around the corner. Just getting ready. Hope everybody's okay. Very simple what we need today, but doesn't mean it's going to be too simple to do, and I mean that in a good way. So while we're getting ready, let me tell you what we need. So number one, we need the range, and if you haven't got it yet, doesn't matter, the stamps, great. I've got an ink pad, any can do, permanent one in case, sticky one, some embossing ink powder. I've got my inks for colour, and I've got some more inks for colour. You can use your paint, you can use anything you want. I'm just going to, you know, let people sort of get their heads around it a bit. You need a paintbrush, so, you know, don't rush, because you won't enjoy it if you're rushing it. You need to enjoy this. And you don't have to do it today. You can do it any time you blooming want, if you want to. This is just for those people that have managed to get, you know, part or a little bit of the selection. Then this is for you to sort of inspire you, or not. It's entirely up to you. But I don't want anyone to feel pressured or worried or anything like that. I'm using some big paper today, so I'm using a Fabriano. You don't need a Fabriano, you just need what you use. So I'll just go through some more image while I get some more water. Now, I always say an hour and a bit, but it always is longer. But I'm just going to be a bit early so I can get everything organised for you. I'll go through what we need. This is a very good one as well. But if you go to my first page on Louise Withers, not Lou Withers, sorry, and you go there, you will see that there's quite a few different things you can do. But if you go to the left hand, and you'll see too my website and the link tree. If you go onto the link tree, that gives you a really good idea of where everything is for me. So if you want to know where my storefront is on Amazon, or if you want to know where my tip jar is, or this is, or that is, it's all on there, So yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I do have stuff everywhere all over the house, which is annoying. Not just me, I mean my other half. So I'm going to use a series of different things today. So I'll just go through again. Hello, got a few people in. Hello. Not as many as I thought, but maybe it's because it's still early. Yeah, I'll go through what I'm using, and then I'm not holding anyone into rushing around and being upset about not having stuff. So I've got my heat gun. Okay. Good morning, Thelma. Henki or Henk Sue. I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names. I pronounce them how I see them, and that's not always the right way. Hi Sue. Hi Wendy, Alison, Sarah, Jenny, Ingrid, Ria, Linda, Marjorie, Lila. So I'll put everything here that I need. So I've got I love this machine, and I've got my Wow ink, seen better days. I've got my Superfine by Phil Martin, excuse my fingers, they've split again, and I've got an archival in case I need it. Now these are all inks, believe it or not, and I leave them to dry, and what happens is as they dry, the concentrate. So these are concentrated inks, believe it or not, and I can take all my coloured inks away. So I don't have to sort of take copious amounts like this away, which don't tell me this is open. But I have got some watercolours, and these are the watercolours I keep in my pots. So I have them. That's that. Okay, what I've also got is a black pen and a white pen, just in case I need it. I might not need it. I've also got that embossing powder as well, which is an old one, but it's a detailed black as well. But I know Phil's is. I've got a blue pen if I need it. Some more water pens. They seem to be a little bit easier. I've got a couple of. I've got a blue pen, a white pen. My ink pen's my black pen, that a thingy pen for edges, a flat brush, and some little detail brushes. I don't know if I need these, but this is for getting some good flicking on. Also, the other stuff I might have or use is I've got some sponge brushes, and then just to explain about the packaging, we've made the packaging so you can reuse it. Okay, so the packaging is really important. Don't worry, you've not missed anything. I'm just going through. Good morning, Vanda, Sandra, Audrey, Dawn, Poca. So the packaging is usable, and you've got an either or. An either or an or and either. So, you know, you've got a blue version, and this is the only papers I've got left now. A blue version and a greeny version on this. I don't use it all, it's too tight. The stamp I'm using is a very simple stamp. It's the square one. So let me tell you which number it is. It's JLMM47 I'm using today. JL47. So it's JLMM47. Now, when I make a load of stuff, I always put loads of little doody bits in and stuff. So you might have this. I'm going to make a start for something that you're going to then finish. If you get the papers and you manage to get the lines with the wording on, this works really well as well, some of the wording for it. So, yeah, it's brilliant. You know, if you wanted to put the word art on it, that's cool. If you wanted some little circles and bits and bobs. My advice to you is grab a bag. Now, the other day, and I am so sorry about this, the other day I got a lovely picture on the broom, and it was a wonderful flower, and I thought, oh, that's wonderful. What a wonderful idea, making a flower with it. So I thought it was a really cool idea. So I'm going to be, you know, maybe we could do that. So it's really simple. It's just, let's get physical with the word, that is, not with us. Now, I've got this on a stamp press, because it's easier to manoeuvre and use. So I tend to use that. Let's say hello to anyone else. Claire, hello. Anne, good morning. Wendy, a couple of Wendy's. Ingrid. Sarah, I think I said hello to everybody then. Oh, thank you, Ellie. That's good. So people will come in and out, no doubt, and that's cool because, you know, it's not after all, it's not a be all and end all. It's just like a little morsel that you can sort of go into whenever you need to. So the idea behind the mindful moodling is to do with being creative, being in the right mindset, and allowing yourself just time. You need time. We're too busy. Everything is too mad busy. We can't have time for ourselves. Everything's rush, rush, rush. Good morning, Kim. Oh, you just got it, Kim. Excellent. So everybody's too busy. And this allows us to have a little bit of me time. Now this is brand new. I have tried this before, and I did it with circles, so it's a little bit of we'll work together on this. So just for the people that weren't in, I have got the number 47. Hello, Pearl. You're not late. There's no lateness in here. You're here when you're here, my love. So I've got number 47. So 47. So it's JLMM47. And I have got some inks, some pens, some black embossing powder, sticky dicky ink, and an archival. I've got some brushes. I've got a black pen, a fat black pen, detailed blue pen, drawing pen, white pen. That's about it. I don't even know if I'll need them. The other sort of really important bit is the inks I'm using are, these are Dr. P.H. Martin's and Ecoline, and I put them all together and I let them dry, and they dry and you can reconstitute them. And rather than me carrying copious amounts of blues and inks around, I just let them do that. I also have these, which are my other ones. These are watercolors. I also use them. I have a bag full of, oops, sorry, I'll have be a bit seasick there. I have a bag full of bits and bobs. They're not my dies, they're the last envelope dies, but a bag full of bits and bobs from my collection, just so if I can mess about I can add it. It's like here there's a bit missing off it, but I quite like that because I might only have half of it. So yeah, so I have a bag of bits and bobs, the packaging, a piece of paper. Now I'm using this, but you could quite easily use the packaging, okay, and a stamp press. So what we're going to do today, it's quite simple. We're going to get either the packaging or the background. And what we want to do is create a layered card, but we're going to do negative space and not positive space. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we look at this now, if we look at this stamp, we can see that I did it to fit a corner so that you can do it any corner, blah blah blah. So we do it like that, but if you see it fits, it should fit a 5.5 square, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's not 5.5 square, just be all right to fit that. So what you need, and you can work along with me. Hello Marcia, hello Michaela, hi Pearl. Is now my paper was just under the Fabriano, isn't A3, but it's not A4, so I cut out 2 and the 2 smaller ones. It doesn't matter to me, but you do need 2 layers and a background. So the layers are 5.5 by 5.5 in old money, and in new money it is. In new money, it is 14 by 14. And these squares are the ones we're going to use. Hello, Angela. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Denise. Hello, Abby. Woohoo, Abby. Yeah, so 2 14cm squares. Like that, and it'll fit that. And these two, if you have an A3 piece of paper, then these will fit. But these are just a little bit. These are 14 by 13 and a bit, and this won't matter if we're covering it by negative space, because you can build up the layers, and we're going to hide it. Oh, we need a scalpel as well, or scissors, or whatever you're comfy doing. Now, right, we need a background. Now there's 2 ways we can do it. What we can do is choose the background that we want. I quite like this bit here, or that bit. So choose the area you like with your big square, and you want it to be the biggest square so you can sit it on. If you haven't got enough paper, don't worry, because it's in the background and the top one will cover it. So we're looking at where we want our colours to be. Is that enough? Would we like it lighter? I think maybe a little bit lighter. Oh, that bit there might be another one. Yeah. So if you haven't got this paper, don't worry, I'm going to show you the little trick. So all you do is cut a square. I'm going to mark this off now. It's a brush one, I haven't got my pen one, but we'll get them as we dry. Stuff gets to dry and we have a rest for a comfort break. So we'll just mark off where we need that. If you don't possess the papers, do not worry. You can do the same with a rice paper if you wish, or the packaging, because the packaging will fit a 14 or a 5 by 5. So the packaging will fit as well, so you don't need to worry about an extra bit. Thelma? Morning, Philippa. Oh, in bed, eh? Antoinette, hi. That's Crafty, you've got it now. And with Laura, contact That's Crafty, they've got it on theirs. And also, Craft Stash will be having it soon, and I'll put a link for that one as well. So yeah, can you see the packaging? You just have that little bit in, but you won't see it. It won't be an issue. And if you've got the bigger areas of packaging, then they fit perfectly. So it's either or. You pick. So I'm just going to now see. Yeah, perfect. I am gonna choose this one, I think. So I'm just going to chop this up. So I'm doing it 14.5 by 14.5, which is A5, I think. No, A6? I can't remember. So there we go. Just put it on there, line it up straight. I don't like putting all the way down sometimes, because sometimes I might have another little the way to get round this is to cut the colour print selection off, and then you're not messing about like this. The way to get around this one is to I think personally is just cut it the bit I want. Now for some reason, I'm glad I did that, it's out. Wow. Right, okay, so you see that bit, if you cut that bit off, it's a real 12 by 12 then. Right, so I'm going to get this out and I'm just going to see. I know why. You did it with the wrong one, didn't you, you banana. Right, so let's get the big papers out again. Yeah. So, that's the one I want. So we want oh, it was right. Look, isn't it weird how things look different when you sort of try to cut them? You think, that won't fit. So I quite like that. That's going to be now my background. Oh, if you don't want to do it like that, you don't have to. I'm just going to chop it down because it's annoying me. It's 15 by 15, isn't it? And I'm putting 14.5 by 14.5. What I mean by that is, if you wanted to create a background, it's so simple to do, and I'll just show you. Keep that, because that's a great little line to use. Hi Sylvia, hi Ginny. Right, so those people who've just joined us, we're just going to do a negative space card. Now this is the background. Now I've cut this out of my paper, but you don't have to. You can cut it out of the packaging, or if you wish, you can cut it out of your rice papers, or you can make one with just a wash. It's either or, it's up to you. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got my paper, I've got my background, I've got my layering up, and I just need to make sure that the 3 layers I'm using are the right size. Put them away because I'll keep using them. Right. Now you can have as many layers as you want, that's all right. We can trim them later. So I have 2 and a background, so we won't really do much to that. But if you wanted to do a background, it's really easy to do one just using watercolors. In fact, if it's easy, I will quickly show you how to do a really quick background using some watercolors. I'm just using, to show you what I'm using, and then you've got it as well. Some inks. So, oh, I can't use them, they're not watercolour. They're weak inks, right? Alright, I'll use these. You have to test these things, because you never know. Because they look like inks, but they're not. They're acrylic, or watercolours. Not watercolours, alcohol. So just squirt your bits and bobs here. This is me ink, so just bring them in. And all I'm going to do is just put a little bit more down there. And all I'm doing is just right, so that's your background, and then all you do is, while it's like that, give it a good old squirt, let it leave some space. That's how I did this one. Leave some spaces. Don't let it drip too much. I'll tell you why, because you don't want it all to mingle. So when you're cleaning up and doing a background, the temptation is to go like that. That's great if you want to take the colour off, but if you don't, then the temptation is to white the edge. Don't, just get like a pointy bit and go like that, and then that way what'll happen is you're just soaking it up. You're not actually making much of a difference to it, or changing the pattern or whatever. You're just soaking up the residue that you don't want. That's it. And leave that to dry, basically. And once that's dry, you can add more colours, like a bit of green, and that's your background. Dead easy, really easy. Okay, so that's the first layer of the background, if you want to do it that way. If you want to use the papers, but entirely up to you. So I'll just leave that over there. So the next thing is, I'm going to get the stamp I'm using, which is the 47. Sorry, that noise, that silly noise is me. Right, so I'm using this one. I'm using it on my stamp press because I find it's easier for me. Now, I haven't got my little doofers on this, so I need to make sure that I'm lining it up pretty okay. So if I line that up on the edge of the paper, and that on the edge, that should be okay. Yeah. So I'm lining that up. I'm going to use an embossing powder and an embossing ink. So I'm using the Wow Ultra Clear. You can use your VersaFine, Versamark, whatever, your archival, but I want to emboss this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just line it up and press down. Now, because I'm using a stamp press, that's great, but because I've not adhered it or stationed this down, there might be a chance that it's gonna it's not going to take in areas, but I'm not too worried because I've got two versions of it to do. So I've got the first one, so I'm just going to get my paper, and I'm going to use the, sorry, what am I using that for? I can hardly do out of that, can I? I'll use rice paper. So I'm using the ultra fine, jet black, super fine, sorry. Right, the lovely fill. And as Barbara Gray says, don't spit on your work. Now, the beauty of this, because I'm using moodling, there's no mistakes. If you want to do it a different way, there's no mistakes, because you're actually the black marks, if there's any black marks on it, blah blah blah, it doesn't matter, it'll add to it, because you won't know what was on it and what wasn't on it, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to put in the second one, so we're going to do 2. Put in a little bit. I prefer to stand up when I'm stamping, as I do on the telly, so and then another one. And I like this embossing powder, but I also like the embossing powder and I like the ink, because the ink isn't as fast. But I still love my VersaFine, and I love what I've got, and I use it. But I can recommend this. It is very fine. I don't tend to muck up as much, you know, when I'm stood up. It's when I'm sat down that I muck it all up. So I'm going to move out this stamp platform. It's not essential that you have that, but I am bringing it in the next few days, and it is well worth getting, because it does make life easier. I'm just going to clean up my area a little bit, because it's annoying me. And it's a bit sticky, this, so I'm trying to prep at the moment for some. Oh, wait till you hear what I've got. I've got So Flat. Oh, can't believe it. So Flat by Golden. I don't think we're ever going to get it at the craft store, but we have. Now, if you have got some, you see, I don't even know why I'm doing this, because some of these are cutting off. Now, you only use bits of this, because we're going to do like an inverted decoupage. So even if you have got like little bits not right on it, it won't matter, because we might cut them off. So the first thing we're going to do is emboss these now. No, you haven't, Helen. My auntie still hasn't got it. I'm going to put this onto the main thread anyway, so people who haven't seen it can still see it. See the little speckles, that's me not getting it off properly, but I'm not too worried about that, because like I said, the little drawing and elements on it, it lends to it. Just burnt that end. Doesn't matter, because that can be the top end. Very strong, this gun. You shouldn't leave it on too long in one area, and you shouldn't waft it around. So if you do that, don't worry, you can just make something new, or make a new layer with it. Don't beat yourself up. Leave that. Right. Now, some of these have got little lines missing, and that's so that you can add your own little line in. If you want to join it up like that one there, you can just join that up. I've noticed there's lots of little doodling and noodling and doodling groups popping up, but there's only one Mindful Moodle. Right, okay, so we've got 2. Now, we've got to decide which is which, so I'll just make a bit of space. So I've got the 2 here, and I've got my background. Now, this is the choices that you have, is which is going to be the top and which is going to be the bottom. So you take a look at your work and think, right, okay, which is better than the other? Well, personally, that's darker, but it's got a burn here, but you won't notice that because I'm going to move it. So what I mean is, that layer there, here and here, is that. Okay, the next layer would be everything, yeah, more or less. And then the top layer would be that, that, and that, and maybe that one. So do you see what I mean? That's the top layer. That's it, the top layer, bottom layer, third layer, second layer, first layer. So bottom, middle, top. Okay, so we just colour these now how we want. So don't forget, if it's going to be the bottom layer or the middle layer, it doesn't matter whether you go over or not. Yeah, must be lost in space. So I'm looking at these now. Anyone who knows me knows I go for the opposites with colours because they're the most dramatic. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on here, not a lot, and I'm going to, as I go, add more water, because what I don't want it to be is all one colour. There we go, so we've got a nice blend. So I go back in, a little bit more there, and blend round. Now the one underneath it, I need to make that quite bright, so I'm going to put, now I'm just laying colour down at the moment. I'm not actually doing much work with it. Good morning. So I'm just putting a little bit of pay down or colour down, and I'll go into the blending in a little bit. There we go. So we're looking at the colour contrast now. So the next one is, I like this colour, I want to put a little bit more in, and I'm just going to pop him in here. And one more area for good luck. So we've got 3 areas. I'm going to leave it for a minute so it sinks in and I can use oh yeah, they are very good. If they're doing it for me, yeah, the team doing it for me are great. So sorry, I added a little bit more colour to that. Right, so what I'm doing is, even though this is very similar, it's still a different colour. So we've got the background, I've got the yellows to sort of complement it. So I'm looking at a variation of yellows and oranges and greens and blues. And then that way I've got harmonious colours but also contrasting colours. You can use complete contrasts with them, but I don't want to sort of have to go into a big colour theory thing. I just want to sort of enjoy my time doing this. So the next one is I'm going to put just around the edge, this is a dark blue, so it's more like an ultramarine. Join it up if you wish, clean your brush off, and then with a little bit of water just bring it down. If you haven't got watercolour paper, this will be hard to do. You can do it, but it is harder to do. And that's how, when I talk in my midday Moodles about watercolour paper, how we blame ourselves for for not having good results, when really it's what we're using that isn't helping us. So now I'm going to put a tiny bit of turquoise in that, just dampen it, not it like there's a little line there, but it's just to bring in the turquoise from that, so it's not just a new colour. And in here, and I mean I might cut off half of these, but it doesn't matter because I'm enjoying the work. So this is going to be, let me think, that one's going to be the top layer. So this is this. So more or less all of this needs to be cut, to be coloured. Oh, I nearly dipped it in my drink. Oh, that wouldn't have been good. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put in some darker oranges. So I've got a dark orange and I'm going to put a tiny bit of pink with it, just to darken the orange. So it's still an orange. Just going to see what it looks like there. Yeah, still an orange, but it's got a little bit more depth to it, with a little bit of pink. You get what we call like a blood orange. Just darkening. I'm keeping it everything darker on one side, so that when I come to look at light and dark, it's already done for me. Same again here. I'm only going to choose really 2 colours to work with today. As a guideline. The rest of the time you can do whatever you choose with yours. So you put a base colour of whatever you're using down, and then whilst it's wet you can go in with a little bit more of one colour or the other, and then that way it's blending. You can blend either on the palette, which is here, or blend on here. It's entirely up to you which you do. So to work like this, the answer in my eyes is always in threes. So I looked at it, I've got it outside and inside. Now it's an integral part of this. So and I'm not too worried about going out there because I'm going to cut that out. So it's an integral part of that, the orange. So it has to be a major part of it. So I'm just going to copy that over into there, because I think what I'll do is just add orange. Yeah. So, yeah, I like that. So now I'm looking at this. So I've got a green here, and the green is quite different to the blue. But if I start to mix it myself, I've still got the 2 colours, but I've now got my own. Again, the same orange and greens and teals, but now I've made them my own from the colours I've already got. Now you can chop them off later. So again, drop in some colour, whether it be green or blue, and just darken that side. So I'm looking at this colour here and going back into that. I'm looking for a bit more turquoise, which I haven't really got, and a bit more blue. Let me see, a bit purple with it. Oh, nice. So all the time I'm thinking about the 2 colours and then the transition between the 2 colours. So where it's light, where it's dark, where's orange and where's green, you know, and looking to make sure that when I try to get a blend, it's not too what's the word, overpowering, and it's not too bright, but it's not that what you call it, it's not that weak that you're not getting any power from it. Like that's too weak there. Can you see? It's just too weak. So you need to pop in a bit of colour, whether it be yellow, orange, or a little bit pink and red, because they're all components of orange and yellow. They're all components, like blues and greens make teals and turquoises. So you can do that. Here I think we'll have a really bright pop. Because it's underneath that, I need it. So darken that again. And the reason I've done that is because although the colours are next to each other, if you put depth of colour next to each other, they'll still work. So, you know, adding dark to dark. Well, not dark, but adding that colour there and then this colour here. You don't need a lot of colours. I don't want to sort of say you've got to have all these colours. I just want you to think, right, well, I've got a couple of colours, I'm going to use them. And I think that's better, personally. I really do think that's better. It's a bit daunting thinking, oh, I can't get all them colours, it's too expensive. Totally agree with you. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Right, I've got a green here. Is it a blue? Oh, it's a turquoise. Excellent. So I've got a turquoise colour which is the same. Just going to green. So we've got this colour here that we need to, there we go. So again, put the colour down, put a bit of darker bit here, and then that way blend it in with a little bit of water so it's not over, you're not overpowering it a little bit. I'm going to put in, I've got a little bit of blue here as well. I think that will go quite well, and I need a little bit more green because I've not got many greens out today, so which is a bit unusual. But let me just pull this out. Why won't that? Oh, it won't open with this because you sellotaped it. I knew there was a reason. Right, I should have a green, just bear with me. She says. Sometimes, right, I don't put the ink, the lids on, and what happens is, lo and behold, you don't need a lot, you seriously don't need a lot. I've put 2 drops in there now. I'll just bring it down to show you. I've put 2 drops in there and that'll be well enough. Can you just see the green? And then 2 drops out of the pipette, that's all I need because it'll dry back and it'll concentrate. So I've got this green now and I really like the green, and there's a little bit here that I can put a little bit more in. And if you get graduations in your colours, they're called gradations and cauliflowers, and that's when you put wet paint on dry, half dry and half wet paint, and you get a reaction. So it's what we call cauliflowers. So I'm going back to this blue because I've not got it in other places and it really needs it. So I don't want it sitting too near that. So it's next to the orange. That's it. I'm looking at this now. I can actually put a little bit in the centre of that. I think if I was to put, I'm going to make a feature of this one. Bear in mind, when you're doing this, you only need to concentrate neatly on the one that's going to be on top. However, if you're going to do this, then in my opinion, which isn't worth much, I know, but in my opinion, then enjoy it all and do it all nicely. Now you can use metallics on this as well, like bronzes. Now I don't like that colour at all. That's a colour that's been mixed from others and it's not worked. So be warned, you do get colours like that. So I'm going to drop in with a... Right, now I think personally I need to go back to get a clean yellow because a lot of these are contaminated now. So I use a lot of yellow. I always have done, because yellow is a bright colour that soon can be lost. So I'm going to put the yellow in now and you'll see it has a distinct brightness to it. And I don't mind that I've got other colours here. I really like that actually. I'm going to add a little bit more colours to these yellows in places just to get a bit of, there we go. Yeah, I like that. So we've got this pattern happening here. I want a bright yellow. I should have washed the brush. Yellow there. The bright yellow there. Now, even if you put the yellow down and you don't like it, you can always build colour over it. It may go slightly green if it's watercolour, but that's not something I'm worried about myself, because I quite like that idea. So I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking that quite dark turquoise would look cool there. It is very, very, very vibrant, this turquoise, so I have to be careful with it. It's called Juniper, and it's one of my favourite colours, but it's intense, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now is just intensify with a very fine brush if I've got it, if you've got one. If you haven't, you can use pens and pencils and whatever you want, but I'm just going to now put some little bit of an edge, not using black. You can go over, it doesn't matter, it's a Moodle. So I'm going to colour these edges in. You might have gone a bit out. That's perfect. This is perfect for it because it doesn't matter. Because you don't actually know what's right and what's wrong with these. And go over the edges if you want. Make sure you've covered your bits, whatever. But I do like the turquoise on this. And I like the turquoise on orange. You get a lovely contrast with the orange together with it. So what I'm going to do is just bring a little bit here and finish off. You see, you could even just finish off on this. There's nowhere that says that you can't finish this off in this shape and this pattern and just do another one with extra on it. There's nowhere you have to do that, says it, or anything. Here we can put in some metallics if you want. So if you've got any, I've got some oh, is it that one? Oh, it's at the bottom. It's the bottom one because it always blooming sticks. There we go. So I've got a tiny bit of pearl here, or even gold. Now, my problem with that is it's got green on it, so you need to wet it first. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of gold on. Oh, my ink. These are Ecoliner and by Talons and Dr. P.H. Martin, which is an eyedropper watercolour, intense watercolour. So I'm just going to drop in. I might need to let this gold sink because it's a water. It needs a bit of a like soaking, really. I'll show you the Ecoliner. I've shown you, sorry, the Ecoliner. I'll show you the others. The others are an amazing, brilliant ink. I've had them for a while now. I absolutely love them. I'm lucky enough to have the full set. But these are an amazing Dr. P.H. Martin. Radiant concentrated watercolours. They're just absolutely out of this world. You don't have to have them though. That's not there. Some of the other colours, the cadmium orange is an amazing colour. These are extra colours that don't come in palettes and watercolours, but they're intense colours, so I use them as like an ink as well. So you've got cadmium and you've also got the Queen Gold, which is stunning colour. So I'm going to pick up some Queen Gold. It's rust in a bottle. It's superb. And I'm just going to flick some areas. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Now I'm going to the top one and I'm just going to do the ones I want. So the ones I want are that one, that one. I'll put it here so you can see. I know I've done it all, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You get, when you do it like, oh, that's not good. I just wipe blue all over it, green all over it, never mind. When you get now, I'm looking at that and I've not embossed that properly, so it might be that this is the top one. Do you get me? So it might be that I cut the other one away, so it's not an issue, it can be either or, but I'm just going to quickly put some colour in. So I'm going to go straight in with blues now and just copy what I did. It doesn't have to be exact, I'll just show you how I work. This is going to be either top or base layer, whichever you choose. Some people may say I prefer to cut it out first. Do that. I would do that, and then pick your best ones out of them all. So here I'm using a bigger brush just to get around some of the areas. Again, get the colour down on your surface so that you can build it up. I'm deciding to do greens now. I might need a little bit of turquoise in there, so I'm not contaminating. And I've got like a good setup of colours here anyway. But choose your colours, get your colours how you want them, and then just really enjoy the colouring in. You've got to, because if you don't, it's pointless. I make this range because I moodle every day. Well, no, that's a fib. I don't moodle every day. I moodle as much as I can now because I work quite a lot. And the whole point of this is to enjoy it. And if I'm not enjoying it, then what's the point? So it's to give us a purpose. And not just a purpose, a way of saying, right, okay, I want to do this today. I want to do a little bit of colouring. I want to do a little bit of this, and then just going away and doing it and enjoying it without feeling guilty or thinking, oh, I should be doing me cleaning or whatever. It's not about that. It's about you enjoying the time. Sometimes I sit and wiggle my toes into the carpet. I listen to Tibetan monk music. I just love it. I listen to meditative music. So here I'm quickly, what I've done is, the first one I've shown you a bit slower how I work, and the second one is just going to go straight through it. Hopefully this is allowing people to change colour. This is allowing people to sort of replicate, make it their own, and hopefully, you know, there's not much of a language barrier, because I do realise that we've got lots of different speeches and languages in the group. So we've got a bit of green. I might put a little bit more green in there because it seems to be all turquoise. That's better. A little bit more over here. And you can see it's so much easier once you've got a bed of colour down. Once you've got that bed of colour down, you can just build the colour on top. You're not tied. So now I'm going to go in, clean your brush really well, because you want this yellow to stay yellow. So I'm going to put in the yellow first. So we've got yellow there. I'm going to put a base of yellow here, and then I'm going to add orange over the top. Now, if I'm going to do quite a few different lessons on this, because I think that there's quite a need for it. So I'm going to be doing some lessons. So this is watercolour. So I'll be doing watercolour, I'll be doing inks, paints, I'll also be doing pencils, and how you can use them all. Now I know there is a Dutch lady doing them, but they're not affiliated with me. She's just using the stamps and doing it. and that's the only person I sort of work with. I don't. She's asked for permission and that, so that's cool. But I don't work with anybody else. So if anyone else is doing this, please can you let me know, because it's now trademarked. So orange, put the orange in there, and you can see how it's got an intensity of colour because I've put the yellow down. And underneath the orange that I've put on is the yellow that was originally on the brush. So I've still got that yellow there as well, which makes it brighter. So yeah, I think some people are lost from Europe. We've got some people asking me, because when I put 10 in, obviously it's coming up as UTC time, and it's like some people are not quite sure what that is, but it's all on rewind. People have got things to do on a Saturday morning. I understand. So I'm going to go drop back into the blue. And if you choose either or, whichever one you choose to be your backdrop or top layer, you can actually sort of from this point think, yeah, well, that's not great, and then choose the right one. Now here you can see I have not actually finished that with embossing, but it doesn't really matter, because I can now, as the Moodlers out there know, we can go back in with a pen later and draw it in, and that's the beauty of it. So you're looking at this now, which colours have I got? I've got quite a lot of that. Let's go in for a green here and choose wisely which ones we want. Okay, then now you're going to need a knife. You're going to need a knife to sort of pick what you want. Now I'm looking at some of the colours that I've added here as centres with metallics, and they've not worked that well because I've got the wrong medium on them. So I think this watercolour should work. Yeah, there we go. So I'm putting a little bit of that on it, and I'm going to put white in it in a minute as well, just to give it a bit of difference. I want it to have now a pop of colour. So when we finish later, we'll be doing all this. So anyway, okay. So now what we do is we pick our things. Now this one to me is the better one. So I'm going to go for this one, and I'm going to cut out just what I want there. All right. So, right. It looks a bit strange. That's the under layer. That's the bottom layer. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you where I'm going to cut out. Okay. Well, now we can put it all on. I'm not too worried. Now, one of the things I was going to do is I was going to sort of make a board for it, but I won't do that this time, because I don't think we've got time to really and truthfully do that justice. I think I'd be scrabbling around. So you do need to dry it with your heat gun. Now, leaving that to one side while I put this one out for you. I'm using a scalpel. You can use whatever you want. Bear in mind, it's got to fit with, these are the colours that we started with, so these are going to go on top there. Don't worry about it coming off, that's fine, that's what we want anyway. Now, the first thing is, be aware of is this. Now, I have just going to dry it. I don't like wasting. Dry up the colour on your mat. Go in. It's not as wet then. It intensifies it. It's just a bit easier to pick up. There we go, got a nice background if we want to moodle on it. And then wipe the rest off, it's not worth it. Here's me saying that, never thought of doing it, you'd hear me say that. So now the first thing I'm going to do is start cutting. Now you can use any sort of knife you want, you can use a scalpel. Now, I'm just going to chop, that needs a new blade, so I'm not even going to go there with it. Do you know what, it's more dangerous using that. Now, oh yeah, that's better. I am not going to really bother too much with the little moodles on it yet, because I can cut that out of the top one. Okay, so I'm just cutting out this bit. I'll show you what I do then, is I get a pair of scissors, the biggest ones I can find in the world, and just chop into that and make them a bit round. So I know there's some people who are brilliant with knives, that's cool, glad for them. I'm not that great, so you pick your battles. So I'm always going to use my knife like that. So then this one, don't forget though, we've got a black pen on the we've got black pen on the side ready. If you don't know what I mean, if you go to the top of the day, when I set off, I showed you everything that you needed to do this. And it was a black marker pen, could be a Sharpie, could be anything. Just going to leave that on for a minute to see how much depth I've got. Next bit. Now, what you can do to really help yourself is on the bottom layer, I might try it just to show you, on the bottom layer of your coloured piece, this, you can stamp the original onto it. And the reason you can do that is that you can reposition everything onto it. It's entirely up to you, entirely. Now, this has got a wibbly line. I do like the wibbly line, so I'm just going to chop it out. Okay, so we've got that done. We're going to see what it looks like. That's nice. We've got a bit of depth, a bit of colour. We can add a bit more depth with it now. So now we're just going to chop right in to the top layers. So I'm going to chop out this one. That one. And these two. Now you can do as many layers as you want. So if you see that there's more layers that you could use, like I can see that that could be under that, so you could have an extra layer for that. That's cool. You concentrate on how many layers you want. But the one thing you do need to do is get the colour on, enjoy colouring it, and then you can start to sort of add detail, and I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, that's it. I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to build that up slightly like that, so we've got a nice layer. And then I'm going to add that bit there, and then that bit there, and then a word of stuff. And these little bits, these aren't really great for anything. You can chop these out and put them down here, but I think that pop of colour makes it nice. Now, if you did want to, there's nothing to stop you like putting a word of art. Now it is very busy, but it's not busy there, so that's why I wanted the space here. So we get our pen. I'm using the fat end of my pen, and I'm just going to, now I can't get into all nooks and crannies, but it does, I can, believe you me, this does make a difference, because I don't know, it just looks cut off the other way without using the pen. It just looks like this, it looks like it's seriously done that way, neatly, and it looks more professional. And if you've got like a real botched up cutting like mine, then you just, I would always though angle your pen away from your work, because believe you me, if you don't, you end up with it going like that, and you don't want that. You don't want that. It's not worth it after all that effort you've put in. Can you see now? I'll just show you here. Hopefully, I know the camera's fixed, but hopefully you'll be able to see that it just creates that lovely line around it, that it just nestles in like that. So I'm going to do it around all of them. Might not use them, but it's done. So got that. Right, okay, what you could do is even layer these up even more. You know, you could sort of go, right, okay, I'm going to have that as an extra layer, that as an extra layer. Before you know it, you're like 10 layers high. So it's important that you get what you want, where you want, high enough. So here I'm going to have to add a little bit more colour. So I'm just going to position this like that, and that, and that. And this I can put anywhere I want. I don't have to have it where it says it on there. If I want it under here, like that, I can have it there. Do you know what I mean? It's not fixed that. So I'm going to just pop these down. I'm using double-sided foam tape thing. It's not the thickest in the world, but it'll do me for now. So I'm not putting it too near the edges, because if you do that, you'll be able to see it. I'm using black at the moment because it's just easier to see. It's not as easy to see, silly woman. Now, I've done it too high. I mean by that, it's 2 strands high. There we go. You can add as many as you want. It's not really high enough, this. Oh, come on. What's up with it? Hang on. It's being a pain. There we go. So I'm just going to chop this up and put a little bit more on. It needs to be about 2 or 3 high. And I'm going to concentrate on the edges, because if I don't, we'll be here all day watching me picking this stuff off. come to the conclusion, leaving it in my blooming car makes it sticky, mad sticky. Right, so I've got that on there. The next one is just put a bit more on this. So I'm not going to have this one as high, or that one. Just going to have that a little bit lower, so we've got like intermediate levels as well. I am going to put a bit more on these two because I don't want this dropping down, and it will sort of fall in the middle if I don't. So I'm just going to pop these on here. Oh, for crying out loud. Right, leaving it at that. So the next layer on top, add some more. So I've got that there. You can get the really high pads, which are really cool. I don't tend to use them that much, I must admit, hence having this. But I do really like height in some areas, but not always in others, and it's weird. I don't always like it. So I've got a frame that this will go in, and it looks really cool because you can layer it up and make it all 3D. It's a little bit smaller than the card, but I'll show you what it looks like, and then that way you'll see. Right, okay, let's get our background ready. You see your greens here, would it be better that your oranges are there, your blues are there, your greens are there? So pick your, so I quite like it like that. No, and I'm not going to pick all this off, don't worry. Otherwise I'll be here all day. That bit in the middle doesn't need to be. I'm liking that bit there. Give yourself space there, because you've got space down here to chop things off. You can even add Moodle layers to this. There's nowhere it says that you can't. Certainly not me anyway. I'm going to add a couple more layers to it, only because I really think it'd be good having it a little bit higher. So I'm going to bend it over. Okay, now I've got the option of either way and whatever I want. I quite like the idea of that way, and then having this free for the word art. It's too busy on there or on there, but on here I could just take these little bits off here and have the word. You don't have to have all curly bits on it, but I do like that up there. So what I'm going to do is just chop that off. And this is the bit where I love, this is the bit that makes this piece of work. The finishing touches. So, right, now the art will fit there if we want. We could have it 3D. I quite like it just slipped in there, or even here. You know, there's just, you see it's too busy there. I quite like it there. And you don't have to have it really big. You can just fit it in there if you want. You don't have to have it really big. This is the bit I love. If you wanted to, sorry, you could put it on there and have it in the corner on a circle, but you could even have it in the corner like that, which I like as well. Okay, so here's the best bits now. We get to look at our paper and say, right, okay, this is where it starts to get interesting. So let's get some colour. So we've got some beautiful colour added here, some more here. Let it blend. This is the ink blending, which is cool. The ink from the side is blending. Got a bit more orange in here. Don't worry about this, we're going to chop this off. The yellow, nice and bright. Be aware though that your pen you're using, if it does bleed a lot, it'll spoil your work. So be, careful. But it can look mesmerising. That was a blob off me thing, so I'm taking it off before it does any damage. Right, what I'm going to do now is drop some colour in here. And the reason I'm doing this, the reason I'm doing this now is to counteract. I want it to look more 3D basically, and it's not. And it doesn't look how I want it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get a thin brush, and I'm going to get what we call a Payne's grey. Now, it's not a black. It looks it, but it's not a black. It's a blue black. But just so it doesn't go too black, I'm going to drop in a little bit of the turquoise. Now, only a fine brush, and we're only going to have it very small places. So all I'm doing is upright. You could probably see better than me what I'm doing. Upright, follow it round. Now it's uncoated paper. So you can now do your little bit with it. So once you've got it directly perpendicular, your pen, now what you can do is add the water, because if you try and do it first, it won't work. You'll get blobs. So, and whilst it's like this, drop some more in. But just nearer the base, so it's not right out to the edge. That's it. So if I just bring it forward for you, can you see? So I'll do a bit here and hopefully you'll be able to see it. So perpendicular. Hang on, less water on my brush. Fine brush. And because I've got that black on the edge of my pen, or around here, it helps really, because it sort of stops bleeding, but it also, you can darken the edges of your decoupage using this way, but I tend to like to darken the edge with a pen first. Right, so I've gone perpendicular. Now, tiny bit of a wash. And the wash is important, because if you don't put that on, you'll end up with a blobby line, and we don't want a line. Seriously don't want a line. So adding a little bit of water to it, so that when you go back in with it, you can do your wiggle. Just going to bring that out a tiny bit more water. That's it. You see? It's not black. It's not blue, and it's not turquoise, it's a mixture. So can you see how 3D that looks? So I'll just do this bit. This is, to me, this is what makes your work, look really, really vibrant. Put your colour on, blend it out with water, and blend your colours in. more water. Because it's already a background, like a watercolour background that we did. Well, I did, or you did. Then you're not going to lose that. It's not going to look weird or anything because you've already done it with watercolours. So I'm just adding a bit more colour around here. It would be a lot darker around here, so because you've got a lot of areas coming together, so it would be worth it to dense that up. So I've got that. I'm really happy with that. Actually, I'm really happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some. Oh, you've got to do it. Get a glue pen, and I'm going to go with it, and I'm going to put the glue. Now that's not good. I'm flicking glue everywhere. I think I am. So here. Oh, do this. I'm going in with a glue pen. And now this glue pen I'm using, it could be a glue pen, it could be anything you want that you want to do, like foiling. I happen to have some foil. It doesn't matter if you don't. You can add a bit of glitter, a bit of anything you want. I don't want anything too, I mean, I've got a teal there and a pink and that, but I was thinking more of a bright accent. I don't know what, oh, that might work actually. Yeah, copper might work. So I've just got some of these sheets. Now, I'm not great at this, so it always goes a bit peak-tong, but we'll see. It needs a bit of heat, you see, I think this, so I have to be careful, and a bit of glue. I don't think I put enough glue on. I'm not great at this. There's some things I can do and some things I can't do. I just don't understand it. I think these are for hot foiling though. So you can do this. There we go. You've got a little bit of, can you see? On the dots. You can add a bit there. Bit there. Don't want it all over though. And then we've got some up here. Or if you haven't got these, get a bit of what's it called, glitter. Anything like that. Try and get the good glitter that's not going to poison everything, because you know we want to have fun, but we don't want to use dangerous stuff on it or anything. I know we've all got it, so you know you've got to use it, whatever. But right, I'm going to go in now with glue pen for that. I've got the foil transfers if I so wish. If you've got a white pen or a gel pen or gold leaf or anything that you want to use, we'll try it with this first, okay? A gold pen is really cool. So here, what I'm going to do is just, now if it's wet, it won't work. All I'm going to do is just add some pen work. This is a white pen. You can go over as much as you want or as little as you want. I have bigger pens with more and fatter nib. Blue pens. There's a huge array of pens out there, so you choose the ones that suit you. I'm not going to be telling you everything to use because it's not on. I don't do it like that anyway. So that's my pen. I also have my gel pen, so you could use your wonderful glitzy pens, anything you want. I'm using this. So here I'm adding some white dots, and then I've gone onto the white in these. Now when these are drawn, these are quite large stamps, so when I come to do it with these look really small, but they're actually quite big when I draw them. So I'm just drawing over. I'm using a brush pen. I'm drawing over the originals because that will be easier for me. I'm going to put a black dot in the middle of those, and this is what I mean about it being up to you now. If you see little bits that need the black pen treatment, then you go in with your black pen, and this finishes it off. So here we might do the areas around it. Here we might do like the blobs. If you've not done them with a glitter pen or anything, if you don't want to use glitter, go in with a black. So look here, we've got some copper, but if it's a dark colour, then it'll look better to show the white. So in the big ones, I'm going to put the white. And the colour does sink in, so you might have to do it a couple of times. That's no hardship, is it? So in here, what I'm going to do is I'm using a white pen there, just to come in here. And what I might do is just, I think I might darken this a little bit, just to bring it, just by putting a little bit of a, not all over, just. And now this really does look a lot more above that one. And again, now it's dry, I can finish it with the layering. So got that up to there. Yep, you could do anything like that, absolutely anything. Now what I need to do is the very last bit, whilst it's a little bit drier, I'm going to go back in with my Payne's Grey with this, and I'm very gently going to do the same thing but the next layer up. Now you don't need as much on this because you don't want it to overtake the colours that you've got, so just put it on and blend it off. Hope that makes sense. On and off. I'll do it again round here for you. So here we go perpendicular. Like that. Give it a minute. Take the water off your brush and blend that out. Now, if you've got it like that, take that off because it's a bit muddy. I've got another one here. See how it gives it that real, it is layered, but it does look fairy. Now I am going to go on and do a little bit more, but I am conscious of the time. But if I was to put that into a frame now, there's two ways you can do it. Oh, put my hat on. There's two ways. That's if you need it on. I don't even know if it needs it on. It might, just hidden there is a cool one. I did like that. There's two ways of doing this now. You can do a window frame, or you can leave it like that and just chop it straight. A window frame's a really good one because it'll hide it all. But I was also thinking there's another way that I can do it by putting a square edge on it and then a window frame, so it's three-dimensional. But I'll just get you a little box to show you what it looks like. I'll put it on this one because the frame I've got is a little bit too small for it, so I'll just put it on this one so you can see. It gives it a good idea. So I might chop it down first, actually. Oh no, actually I can't because it's a bit damp. Yeah, it's too damp. I don't want to disturb the papers. So if I put it on there like that, let me just move that away. So yeah, I'll put a little link to the Amazon shop and everything and whatever, and where I know you can buy these products from, and then you can paint till your heart's delight. Let me clean that away so it's a bit neater. Right, so basically, I hope you like that. Thank you very much. So you finish it and you want with your Nouveau drops, with anything you want, your little glitter pens, add to it, and then it's yours. You can miss layers out, you can build it up as high as you want, but this is only one of a few things. But once you've got it on this, or a blue background, or a green background, it looks absolutely phenomenal on an orange background. It just has so much impact. If I was to show you on my cushion, I have orange cushions. It might not look good because it'll be nearer the camera, but if I just show you the colour with it, you'll see what I mean. I think it's in here actually. Let's put my cushion down like that and then pop this on. You're going to see the vibrancy of it next to the orange. It's a bit high, I'm afraid, but you'll be able to see how vibrant that orange is with it and what a difference it makes to having it on the white, which gives it a different look. So if you wanted to put it on this background, it's different again. It's more subdued. Do you get me? So, but that would look, you know, orange behind that, and then that. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, I love it on the orange. You know, you could even pop. See, that's too busy, but you know, you could, don't forget, we've cut it out of that blue. It fits just as nice on that paper. So I'm going to hopefully do one a month with my range now, maybe more if I can do it, where I get one of the stamps and we use it and we create a piece of work. So once a month you'll get, you know, a little workshop. But I am going to do some more moodling workshops. They'll be available on Etsy, where we're looking at different colours and, you know, and configurations and maybe more mixed media with it. They'll be available. And yeah, and I hope you've pleased that you purchased the Mindful Moodling. Once a month, come in, let you see. And if you want more than that, then you can come and, you know, purchase them if you wish. They'll only be a few quid. They'll only be an hour long, but it'll be like different types of colouring and decoupaging and stuff. There'll be like a series of, sometimes I think it'll be around about 10. But we'll see, because each time, hopefully it'll fit to the next collection when that comes out. So thank you so much for your time and patience. I hope you've enjoyed that. Any questions that I can answer? Oh, brilliant, Carla. Thank you, Margaret. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Very different. Thank you to everyone for your support, especially in my group. I do think the world of them. So yeah, so it's go forth and moodle. Take care.